Hey guys, welcome to DreamCoin, where we show you how to invest for a better tomorrow. My name's Tyler, and today we're going to be doing some updates on Marin Software, their new Criteo integration stuff that just came out during after hours of today's trading, and where I see the long-term future of this company. We've gone over them in the past pretty religiously as compared to a lot of stocks on the channel. I had stated before I wasn't going to update them further unless there was significant developments coming down the pipeline, and it seems like they are also expanding on top of a lot of the big news that we expected from them since the beginning of my coverage of this company. So I felt it was appropriate to make sure we touch up on those and also revert back to some of the earnings report stuff that came out, since I see a lot of people focusing on really just the wrong information on what you should be seeing in the company. So before we get into any of the new information that came out with the Criteo integration stuff, we are going to be looking at some of their financial updates that happened in their Q2 updates. And what this brings about is the fact that they have a significant amount of cash on hand. And a lot of people were focusing on the fact that they had decreasing revenues from year-over-year totals, but when you're a company that is looking to invest in your current integrations and your software that you're trying to develop, just different expansions for your future growth, it is going to be expected that you're going to put less emphasis, particularly on your marketing to sell your product, and more of an emphasis on what you can actually give to your consumers. A big part of this is also going to be the fact that you might have a little bit more of a money burn, and this happens a lot in biotech stocks as well, because we see a lot of points where biotech stocks will do a lot of share offerings to raise funds. And we saw this with Marin Software in how they had done their share offering that raised roughly $38.8 million in July. As of now, this program is exhausted, so they can't get any more money out of this program, but it also leaves them roughly around $53 million of cash on hand, which sets them up basically with their estimated cash burn year over year to essentially have a good 4 to 5 years of minimal financial stress, even if they made absolutely no money during that time, which obviously is not going to be the case. They're still going to make money. They still have deals with different companies, and their Instacart stuff isn't even making them money as of now. And so that would be expected to net them a little bit more revenue, particularly more in the long term. We're not going to see that too much in the short term. I'm expecting more information on that to come out in the next year or two. Another big piece to keep in mind with their cash on hand is that they did file at the beginning of August for the $100 million mixed shelf offering. Hypothetically, on top of their $53 million that they currently do have in physical cash and cash equivalents, we're seeing that they have a virtually $153 million leverage in their balance sheets. Now, for me, the earnings report wasn't anything that I was going to be focusing on as for revenues, as it was more just what they were able to accomplish during their Q2 business integrations, and also where they were looking forward into the future. So a couple of the more significant things that we were looking at is the fact that they're trying to expand more into e-commerce. We saw that particularly with Instacart and that news that kind of set off a lot of their price action for their stock. But even more so, we're looking at expansion globally in different areas for them, to where they don't just want to be in like just general retail. They seem to want to expand as a company into a lot of different avenues of e-commerce and digital advertising. They were also listed as an Apple Search Ads partner for campaign management. And a lot of people kind of overlooked this, and I don't really think a lot of people paid attention to this. But if you go here on the Apple Search Ads partner website and scroll down, the very first companies that show up on the campaign management page and just on the page in general for Apple Search Ad partners are going to be Bidalgo and Marin Software. And you can see here Marin Software is basically estimated to manage $40 billion in digital ad spending. You're not only seeing the interest of Google in Marin Software as a potential partner, you're looking at companies like Apple who are seeing value in a company as small as this. And so a lot of different things that appear small to people that don't really read into these are actually very significant in the grand scheme of the direction of the company in the long-term future. Now, today, August August 19th, the big news that came out that had them up almost 25% in after hours trading is that they came out with news that they were integrating with Criteo, which is an e-commerce media platform. And what this integration is going to be doing is that they're going to be partnering with Criteo to help different clients manage advertising and giving access to clients to be able to help with the point of purchase contact for clients. Criteo is seen as a pioneer in the field and also a leader in the advertising tech space. And so this is a very significant move for Marin Software, but I think it's also a significant move for Criteo because I do think that Marin Software has a huge upside going into the future, where I've given previous valuations of potentially $500 million to $750 million in market cap. Not only is Marin Software going to be helping with managing advertising campaigns and the commerce platforms for Criteo's clients, but they're also going to be helping optimize those different systems that are in place for marketing solutions and those campaigns. If you're not familiar with Criteo, they basically give a huge upside into where the company's future could be because they have a lot of different resources for clients, as you can see, where they've got different types of retargeting to previous customers that come through a business's space. They've got different ways to look at web traffic generation, and they've also got different kinds of AI engines that can help with optimizing things in a way that gain the interest of customers in general. They have a huge reach. It's estimated they've got 2.5 billion users through their click endpoints, and there's activity in 100 plus countries currently with their services. As we look at Criteo's recent Q2 financials that came out for 2021, some of the significant information that was put out was that they have been steadily increasing revenues, not only in new types of campaigns they've been doing, but also for continued customers over time. As you can see, same client revenue was about 22% increase and a 16% increase year over year. And you've also got bigger companies like Best Buy that are looking to use them as a platform to help with their services. Criteo themselves also stated during their Q2, they had been able to add 700 new bigger clients, and this closed the quarter with 21,300 clients. Now, if you're looking at Marin Software, this is going to expand their client base as well, because with this partnership, they're most likely going to be working with some of the same people. They're going to be possibly bringing some of those people over to more of their services with the Marin One software platform, which is basically kind of like your middle ground for everything that they're trying to do. The easiest way to simplify it for anybody that's not aware of how this stuff would work is basically, instead of paying for a bunch of different subscriptions and having to go a bunch of different places, if you're watching TV, you can sign up for something like Amazon Prime, where you can go on Amazon Prime and see HBO Max, and then you can see different things like Showtime, and all of your stuff is in one place, and you can manage all of your stuff in one place. Criteo actually trades in the market too, and right now they're just under $36, but they've been given recent price targets of $55 a share on them. So with this integration, this could possibly be a play for you as well if you've been interested in Marin Software and want something else to kind of hedge with your position on Marin. But with Criteo getting their valuations projected to be $55 a share from their current trading price, we could be seeing a jump from where their current valuation of $2 billion could easily reach $3 to $4 billion as a company in the long-term future. This also coincides with the already very nice integration that Marin Software has done with Instacart, and Instacart's current valuation is roughly $39 billion before they become the newly anticipated company that's going to be trading when they do come live on the market as well. All in all, I think Marin Software is making a lot of significant long-term growth options, and what is going to be significant in the long-term future compared to where they've been trading is that a lot of their moves are for the future of the company. If you're focusing on the short-term price action, you're doing it very wrong with this company. They're going to be a slow mover. They've historically been a slow mover. Their price action in the last couple of months was kind of an anomaly with the increased volume and all the crazy stuff going on with short percentages that was happening. But this company has a very strong direction going for them into the future. And if you are looking to invest, as we talk about on the channel religiously, this is the prime type of company that you're looking for, especially with COVID potentially ramping back up, reopening stocks not doing so hot, and digital advertising and things like that becoming more front running happening in the economy as we look over the next few years. To go further on that, we also have some news from Google that they are going to be looking to get away from using individual browser history to target ads to users. I would assume this would probably go with some of the issues they've been having with the government regulations and everything. The way this is going to be a big deal is that Google has typically used third-party cookies to target ads to people on an individual basis, but now it's going to be more put through on a first-party data basis where brands are going to be expected to track it through their own servers and domains. While this is going to be good for user privacy, it's also going to be harder for businesses to adapt to this because it's a lot harder to personalize that to people and get targeted ads in properly. We've already got browsers like Safari and Chrome talking about getting rid of those third-party cookies in the next year, so there's going to be an expedited process that needs to be implemented soon in order to get businesses on the path to not have any disruptions in the quality of advertising that they're going to be going to put out to consumers. Marin Software, luckily for any of their current clients and potential clients looking into how they can get these solutions, is that they've already got a way to talk with their client server to their own server, which will give a way to track the details about a conversion event. So basically just like if an advertiser is being clicked on for their different ad placements and things like that. And the server to server solution is going to be what is expected to be the new basically front run point for these types of interactions with consumers going into the future with the transition to client privacy and not giving out data to third parties. Marin is doing it both through their own tracker, through Google Analytics, and through revenue uploads. And so they are already giving a few different avenues for people to do this in a seamless way with their information. And this is going to give businesses a lot of leverage in getting ahead of their competition if they are able to take advantage of their connections with both Marin and Google going into the next couple years when all of this is going down. If you're still not convinced on the direction of Marin Software and how they view their expansion as positive in their different fields, they've also recently upped the salary of their chief financial officer, Bob Burtz, from $275,000 to $300,000. Now, some people with the share offering stuff are going to view this as potentially greedy or the company taking advantage of stockholders or anything like that. But bottom line, a company is not going to give one of their higher ups or directors a pay raise if they don't feel that they are doing their job and or that the company has a bright future of growth under this person. So whatever your perspective on the company and whatever you feel about their share offering, this is a good sign on how the company views where they're headed over the next few years as well. As we look at the chart, you can see this exploded from where it was closing under $5 and went up to as high as $6.30 in after hours on this news of the Criteo integration. And so this looks very similar to how the reaction happened with the Instacart news. Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen into a gigantic movement from both of these happening, but it seems that there's obviously interest in this news coming in. There was already way more volume in after hours than there was the majority of the trading day for Marin, which should tell you a significant amount of how this is valued, especially with this direction in after hours trading. This is why it's more important for you to get on a platform like Webull. So if you check the comments below, I'm going to have a referral to Webull. They are some of the widest trading hours you can do. You can trade as early as 4 a.m. Eastern and as late as 8 p.m. Eastern, and you could take advantage of these price actions here, where if you had bought near this close down here under $5 and you wanted to sell literally in this aftermarket stuff on the explosion, you would already be up almost $2 in profit in as little as just like 30 minutes to a couple hours. So make sure you check that out if you have been on Robinhood or another platform that has been restricting your after hours trading. Now, as we analyze this channel going over the last couple weeks, especially with the after hours movement that was happening here, we've been roughly sitting in a channel of as low as 470 up until about 620 based on the most recent resistance resistances and the long-term supports from back before it ran up towards $10 for the first time. If we see a bounce down here with some tapering off, we could see the fact that it could break below this and go lower. So do be wary of that if that does come into fruition. But if we can see a break early going into pre-market tomorrow where this is testing above $6 still, and it can get some volume and push above the 620 area, we could be seeing a new support above here where we could see some price movement that would give some very little resistance to between $7 and $8. That's going to be your shorter term price action. Like I said, long term, I do view the company as at least a $500 million market cap valuation. So do with that what you will. I think the company has a very bright future. For me, that would place them squarely between $40 and $60 a share within a few years. I'm not going to expect a squeeze or anything at this point. People are still pointing out that they've got a decent amount of short interest and there's been like unruly option stuff and everything like that. But with the current market conditions and the fact that we've seen a large amount of downtrend on the market recently, certain days where the pullbacks have just been gnarly for some stocks and we're seeing record lows for some stocks, I'm not going to be banking on options or anything else like that for now, because it's going to be very hard to gauge that volatility with broader market weakness. My hope for now with Marin, if we are looking more bullish, is the fact that we are going to be sitting above the 620 area going in early tomorrow. And if we do that, we have a good chance of closing between 620 and 750 in my opinion. If we can get up there and close and get in that sort of area, that's going to be nice looking towards the beginning of next week. But do keep in mind the market was broadly weakened today and tomorrow is going to be Friday. So these are things to keep in mind as you look towards the future. And then we do still have the Google deal on the table for Marin for their long-term future. So going into the end of September, that could be a catalyst as well. With the $153 million hypothetically in their pocket with the mixed shelf offering that was filed, we could see a scenario where they have higher leverage for their Google deal. They have less reliance on that income, and this could set them up to where they have a better bargaining power for actually retaining the deal and getting a better deal for themselves as well. And if they don't get the deal, it's not going to be that bad of a thing because their revenue is going to be pretty set just from their Marin software and the fact that they have these new partnerships with Criteo and Instacart for the longer term. Either way, I'm bullish on this company long term, and that's where I'm seeing Marin for the significant long-term future. I most likely won't be doing any updates until we get any significant information, but I wanted to make sure I get this video out to you guys because I know a lot of people have been looking for new information on them, specifically from me with the amount of people that have been asking about what's going on with the stock. As always, thank you guys so much for watching and supporting the channel. We are almost right at 4,000 subscribers, which is just wild considering we started the channel back in February, and I'm hoping that I can keep getting you guys quality content out soon. I had a lot of personal stuff going on with different job stuff happening. And so I'm looking to get more content out here pretty regularly. I know I've been a little slow to start the month, but I do want to get more educational material out. We'll be going over even more cryptocurrency stuff, like how to stake and use different exchanges in certain ways. And we're going to be looking at broader market tutorials and information like how you should be managing capital gains, and actually the logistics behind all that and the differences between a Roth IRA and if you should be trading inside of one. Other than that, that's going to do it for me in this video today, guys, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.